I got Bino, got the game locked. Half toxic, all she wanna do is bang. Got her hair done, French braids, now she A$AP. Bino so insensitive, she asks you why you say that. Chillin', real, villain, rich kid asshole, pay me as a villain. She's spitting that cash flow, DJ, Castle, penthouse on both coasts, PH, valid, real, I rap those. Why though? Cause I said though, 50 in that Pepto, got 500 like Petco, and I have more tail than that Petco. You faking, this is sweet though. Yeah, you got some civil rubber, really? Are you eating now? Are you eating now? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner's for beginners, you ain't even know. Now they catching cases while their faces look some VMO. Watch a hater hate me, wanna play me like a piano. Architect, no Japanese, your girl, she cracking me. Your hands like Socrates, y'all fuck boys like Socrates. You ain't copying these, same look like me.
Yo, for my rant for the day, man, listen, I feel like that was a funny clip for real, but excuse me, just trying to get my meal in real quick. It leads me to a conversation that I usually have with a lot of local rappers. Why is it easier for people outside of our culture to get support or an enthusiasm behind the missions that they complete than it is for people in our community? I want to say once again, when we're having these conversations, what we're doing is speaking in majorities. Yes, we can always pick one or two people outside of everybody else that are doing these things. An example I always use is Oprah. For every bad thing that you want to say that black women have been through and that you can't make it through, Oprah has. But Oprah isn't the monolith, as some people would say, for whatever is going on for women. In majorities, this is what the case would be, and that this is actually a hindrance. So when I'm speaking of this situation, as far as getting love or getting the energy reciprocated from our community when it comes to things such as music, or even dancing and things like that, why does it always seem that even online, and I mean, of course, online is what it is, but I can honestly, you could follow the likes. White guy at the barbecue, white kid at the barbecue, white lady rapping, white guy rapping. Anytime that one of them are doing something inside of what we consider a culture, if they're cooking, and they put a little bit of Lawry's in that shit, for some reason, mentally, we start including them into the community. But you'll dog and downgrade your homegirl that cooks because it's not necessarily up to the standards that you feel it should be for our community. Some people would say, okay, well, this is something online. But it becomes a thing of what I said for myself, of the energy that it takes for you to actually leave a comment or to reply to something that's being said online. I'm positive that you don't apply that same energies to the people that you know. Your homegirl that's doing the bakery thing out of the crib, or even a homie that's rapping. Not necessarily saying that, yo, and I say that all the time, even for myself. Listen, if you don't like somebody's music, you don't like their music. This is not a thing. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, Ice JJ Fish went crazy for a reason. You feel me? I doubt that you could convince me that Ice JJ Fish was buying his shit to get him to the point of visibility. Why is it easier sometimes to, even for myself, in all honesty, if I'm being real, why is it easier sometimes to find are self-supporting people that are doing lesser, but are being consistent, and not necessarily people that are doing more and being consistent. I say it all the time, especially when it comes to music. At the end of the day, your skill level doesn't choose or doesn't decide necessarily where you rank at in any of this. That's one of the reasons why you see some of the people that honestly shut out their groups, because this is actually a gift. It does become a thing to where as though your fan base is allowing you to be able to move the way that you want to move. And you can't force it. But then it does become a thing of, once again, why is it seen or why necessarily perception, and wide enough perception, because it's not just said by someone like myself, that it's easier to find ourselves supporting the others instead of the brothers and or sis. I'm sure that we could probably do something and somehow equate it to slavery. But once again, for most of us, we feel as though we want to get ourselves away from that. I want to say that we are hundreds of years away from that mentality, or at least the things that were going on at that time. If we were to speak about the violence, of course, we would all say, man, some shit like that couldn't happen to me because of the repercussions that would be laid upon the other person. So to use it as an excuse to say we don't support each other because of slavery, it seems like a cop-out at this time. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be able to use the other argument when something else is going on. It's funny to even hear people on larger platforms have this discussion as if it's something that's a hard fix. Show appreciation to the people that are closer proximity to you, the same way that you do to the people that you don't know. And even for someone like myself, once again, it's easier being said than done. I do a show on IG with somebody that's in New York, and I don't necessarily deal with people that are in my state. To break it down smaller, I don't deal with people in my county on the most part. And I know that I can do something different with that, but most of the time that comes to me of understanding visibility. You know, most of the time in these situations, people can inflate what they believe is visibility because they're not really looking at the overall aspect of what's going on. I won't say that any of this is a problem. Support who you want to support and show love to the people that you show love to. You know what I mean? That's a pretty much a fundamental thing of society, that you can do what you want to do, but at the end of the day as well, maybe think of when you're scrolling and you do see these people that are inside of your area that are trying to do something different or something beneficial. When you see someone that's not succeeding in the thing that you're saying they need more of, give the same effort or half of the effort that it takes for you to leave a negative comment on your favorite person's post. Support each other, and not necessarily when you feel that it's going to benefit you. Love is love. That's my rant for today.